Welcome back to Indigo Soul Yoga. I am Stephanie. Today's practice will offer you an energizing flow. Grab 2 blocks, a blanket or a knee pad, and a yoga strap, and join me in Hero's Pose. Come onto your mat, shins on the earth. Option to place your knee pad or your blanket under your knees. Option to place 1 or 2 blocks to sit upon. I am sitting on 2 blocks. You can always bring your glutes down to your heels instead, or your perineum all the way down to your mat. Shoulders stacked over your hips, palms on your thighs. Take a breath in through your nose, release it out through your mouth. Another cleansing breath in and out. Begin to flick your fingers up and down as if you have water on your hands and you are trying to get the water to dry. Flicking your fingers up and down, finding some energy, some awareness of fingers, of forearms, of biceps, of shoulders. Waking up the body, finding some energy, some awareness. Going at your own pace. Feel free to go faster. Feel free to go slower. Reach your arms overhead, make a fist. Bring your fists towards one another and take them away. Coming in and out. Once again, going at your own pace. Try to keep your tailbone down on your blocks or your heels. Activate your abs. Find length in your spine. Breathing in, breathing out. Knuckles coming in and out. Arms overhead. Sweep your right arm behind you. Look over your right shoulder. Flick your fingers again. Flick, flick, flick. Big upper body stretch. Once again, finding that strength, that awareness, the energy. Arms reaching overhead. Twist to your left. Once again, begin to flick your fingers. Right arm forward, left arm back. Shoulder blades coming together. Center point of your head reaching towards the sky. Try to keep your tailbone down. It may want to lift up. When you're ready, arms overhead. Exhale, arms down. Arms reaching up, palms facing each other. Seated mountain. Rising up. Seated mountain. Inhale, arms reaching up, palms facing each other. Exhale, arms down, reaching up, finding length. Exhale, twist to the right. Left hand to your right thigh, your right hand to your right hip. On the inhale, get nice and tall. On your exhale, twist a touch deeper, getting into your back body. Arms overhead on your inhale. As you exhale, twist to the left. Right hand to your left thigh, left hand to your hip. Breathing in, breathing out. Stay with it. Arms reach up. Exhale, arms next to your body. Now bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, seated cow. Arch your spine, seated cat. Chin reaches to the sky. Chin to chest, arching. Opening chin lifts. Rounding chin to chest. Lifting up and rounding. Come to a neutral spine. Palms to your thighs. Lift your hips off your heels, off your blocks. Place your blocks to the side. Adjusting your knee pad, adjusting your blanket for more support where needed. When you're ready, reach back. Assist all 5 toes on each foot, so all 10 toes to rest on your mat. Shoulders stack over your hips. Inhale, press and lift up. Find a toe stretch. Exhale, sit down. Rising up, lower down. Rising up, core lifts you. Lower down. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. Going at your own breath, your own pace. Return glutes to rest on your heels or on your blocks if you're using them. Take a couple of breaths. On your next inhalation, rise back up, pat your toes out. Your toes are saying hello, hello. Once again, finding energy from fingertips to toes. Bring your hands to rest on your glutes, elbows hugged together. Lift your chest and chin, come back to neutral. Supported camel pose, return to neutral. Chest lifts up, hips lift, return to neutral. Chest and chin lift, return to neutral. Chest and chin lift, return to neutral. Come to have a seat on your heels, arms overhead, rising back up. Lower down, arms up. Hips lift, arms next to your body. Going at your own pace. High mountain and lower. Find your way back to hands and knees. Feel free to take your blocks under your hands for some height, for some support. Step your right foot behind you, toes pointed down. Begin to lift and lower. Activating your glute, activating your quad, your hamstring. Finding a stretch into the back of your leg as well. The next time your foot lowers down, begin to press your heel down towards the mat. Big lower body stretch. Lift your foot back up, take your right knee down. Left leg extends back, lift your foot. Begin to lift and lower, finding balance, finding some awareness. The next time your left foot lowers down, press your heel towards the mat. Big stretch. Lower your left knee down. Sit back on your heels. Begin to flick your fingers up and down, just as when you open the practice, coming back to that energetic space. You'll be doing this throughout the practice today. Flicking the water, energy, awareness. Noticing how your arms feel, your hands. Noticing what happens into your chest, your back. Reach your arms overhead. Find your way back into that tabletop position. Right leg extends back, balancing table. Left arm reaches forward. Round your spine. Take your arm and leg back out. Round elbow to knee. Lengthen out. Round elbow to knee. Lengthen out. Round elbow to knee. Lengthen out. Sweep your left arm back, right foot reaches towards the ceiling. If you can, catch your hand and foot together. If need be, grab a strap. Feel free to look over your shoulder if your neck will permit. When you're ready, extend back out, lower your hand, lower your knee. Sit back on your heels. We're gonna flick that water again, up and down, up and down. And know that at any point in a practice, if you're in hands and knees, tabletop position, your hands or wrists feel uncomfortable, you can sit back and just flick the water. Flick, flick, flick. Few more breaths. You got it. Reach your arms overhead. Find your way back into tabletop position. Balancing table opposite side. Left leg extends back. Right arm reaches forward. Round elbow to knee. Lengthen out. Round and curl. Extend. Round and curl. Extend. Round and curl, extend. Bend your leg, sweep your right arm back, looking over your shoulder. If your body permits, hand and foot become one. Feel free to use that strap. Looking over your right shoulder to find a stretch in your neck, or know that you can always look down at your blocks or your mat instead. Extend your arm, extend your leg, take your hand down, take your knee down. Place your block or two blocks between your legs, rising up, once again kneeling. Right hand to your right back pocket. Sweep your left arm up, take it back and overhead. Take it back down. Left arm reaches up and back, take a back stroke. Rising back up and forward, up and back, take a back stroke, and forward. Take it up and back. Rotate your chest and chin to the sky. Half camel pose. Arm reaches overhead and down. We're gonna switch it. Left hand to your left back pocket, right hand next to your body. Reaching your right arm up and back, up and down. Taking that back stroke and down. Up and back. Up and forward, reaching up and back, and holding here. Rotate chest and chin to the sky, half camel pose, opposite side. Hips are lifted. Awareness of breath. Press into your shins, right arm reaches up and down. Both hands can rest, or you can shake it out, shimmy it out if you would like. Do whatever you need. From here, we're going to prepare for side plank. Bring your right knee down to your mat, extend your left leg out, right arm overhead and reach, and take it out. Reaching overhead, take it out. Reaching overhead and hold. Lifting your left foot up and down, up and down. You got it. Lift your left foot once more. Sweep your top hand back. If it's possible for hand and foot to bind together, go ahead and take a back bend. Extending back out. Take your hand down. Take your knee down. Flicking the water one more time. Flick, 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 flick. Flicking the water up and down, up and down. Sweep arms overhead. Find your way back into tabletop position. We're going to prepare for side plank on the opposite side. So kickstand your foot out. Extend one leg to the short edge of your mat. Arm reaches overhead. Top of the mat. Reaching up. Overhead. Reaching up. Overhead. Reaching up. Take it overhead. Begin to lift and lower your leg. Finding some balance. Awareness. Energy. Fingertips to toes. Lift your legs. Sweep your hand back. Bring your foot towards your glute. If possible, hand and foot bind. Take a back bend, look over your top shoulder. Extend your arm, extend your leg. Find your way back into hands and knees. Press your palms into your mat or your block. Toes are curled under. Lifting and lowering your knees. And know that you can alternate one knee at a time. Finding some energy from the core, which is on your abs, lower back, glutes. Sit back on your heels, take your arms overhead. Hands come to your back pockets, camel pose. Rising up, sweep it back, Ustrasana. Hands overhead, camel pose, and hold. Remember, you can always take a half camel instead. You've prepared for this throughout the practice. Reach your arms overhead, sit back on your heels. Hands and knees, tabletop position. Adjusting your blocks. Find your way into downward facing dog, or know that you can stay in hands and knees. Right leg to the sky. Step your right foot outside your right hand. Take your left knee down. Lift your chin, little back bend. Lifting and lowering your left foot. Left foot coming closer towards your glute. Left leg lifts, sweep your left hand back, reaching hand towards foot. If your hand and foot combine, bring them together. If you would like, grab a strap or a band. On the exhale, release. Back toes curl, lift your knee. Three-leg dog, and return to downward facing dog. Shift forward to plank, take your knees down. Extended child's pose, big toes together, knees out wide. Palms on your blocks for a bigger shoulder and chest stretch. And don't forget, you can always place those blocks to the side. Awareness of what you need, what you don't. Find your way back to hands and knees. Stay there or downward facing dog. Left leg extends. Left foot steps outside your left hand, lizard lunge. Right knee lowers down. Lift your chest, lift your chin. Gentle back bend here. When you're ready, lift and lower your right foot. Finding some activation, some energy. Right foot sweeps up, right hand sweeps back. If you can, hand and foot connect or take that strap. Arm reaching up, take your hand down, take your foot down, sweep your left leg back, three-leg dog, return to downward facing dog. On the exhale, hands and knees, take a breath in, extended child's pose, palms on your blocks or palms on your mat. On your next inhalation, press up, come into a plank, downward facing dog. Left foot steps outside your left hand, right foot steps out, Malasana pose. Right foot steps back, left foot back, downward facing dog, alternating right foot, left foot, bum lowers down, bum lifts, stepping it back, downward facing dog. Step it forward, lower down, lifting up, step it back, step it forward, lower down. Find your blocks if you would like. We're going to take a supported Malasana Yogi squat. And know that if you prefer, you can take those blocks to the side. Shoulders over your hips. Press your forearms to the inner portions of your legs. Center point of your head reaching up. Fingers are active. Remember the flicking that you did earlier? Fingers are nice and active. Anchor your feet into your mat. We're back into those little flicking motions. Flick the water, flick the water. Now you're going to begin to rise and lower. Come into a star pose as you flick the water overhead. Lower down onto your blocks, arms lower. Stay with it. You got it. Rising and lowering. Giving those hips some love, your glutes, your back body. Push your forearms into your legs one more time. Now begin to lift and lower your heels, left and right. You got it. Both heels lift and lower. Up and down. The next time your heels lift or leave them there. A lot of awareness, a lot of energy. Take your heels down, arms reach overhead. Palms come down, wide leg forward fold. Rock your hips out side to side. Feel free to pat your legs out if that would feel nice to your body. If you need support, take your blocks under your hands. Legs nice and wide. Palms in between your legs. Lift and lower your heels up and down. The next time they lift, keep them there for a few breaths. Spine lengthening rather than rounding. Heel toe your feet together. Weight into your right leg. Extend your left leg out. Plant or flex your toes. Press through your arms for strength, for balance. Keep that left leg lifted if you can. And when you're ready, take it down. Opposite side. Weighting your left leg, extending your right leg out, lateral position, pointing your toes. If you can hold, and when you're ready, lower your foot down. Begin to bend and straighten your legs. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. Finding a release in your legs, your back. Place your blocks to the side. Bring your peace fingers to wrap around your big toes and your thumb to cap them off. Bend your legs, chest comes towards your thighs. Sway side to side or be still. When you're ready, straighten and bend your legs, attempting for your chest to remain as close to your thighs as possible. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. Straightening your legs out, folding in deep. Bend your legs, release your hands down to your mat. Step your right foot back, adjusting your knee pad or your blanket. Take your right knee down, grab your blocks, preparing for half splits. Adjusting the height of the block for your body. Hips begin to shift forward, shift back, shifting forward, shifting back. The next time you shift back, stay there. Begin to press your heel into your mat, toes towards the sky. Try to draw your left heel towards the back of the mat for a deeper stretch. For support, take your block under your thigh or under your leg, whichever feels better to you. shift forward, place your block back under your hand. Back toes curl, lift your knee. Take a switch jump or step forward, step back. Left knee on your mat or your knee pad. Shifting forward, shifting back, preparing for that half splits on the other side. If you chose to take a full split, know that you're welcome to do so here as well. Pressing your right heel into your mat, toes towards the sky. Try to draw your right foot to the back of the mat without it actually moving for a deeper stretch. Take a block under your thigh for support. Sometimes it's nice to have 3 blocks, they come in handy. Take your block to the top of the mat, step your knee back, sit back on your heels, returning to hero's pose, and we're back into flicking the water. Up and down, energy, 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 energy. Breathing in, breathing out. The next time your hands come down, reach them up nice and strong, press into your shins overhead, sweeping arms next to your body, hands to your hips. Let your left ear drop over to your left shoulder. Feel free to be still or lift and lower your chin, finding a stretch in the right side of your neck. Head comes up to center, right ear, right shoulder. Stillness or movement, whichever serves you today. Lifting and lowering. Head comes up to center. Sweep your legs around. Find your way into a cross-legged seat. Place your blocks under your thighs for support. Seated cow, seated cat. Your inhale, cow pose. Your exhale, round your spine, cat pose. And know that you can always hold one pose or the other if that is what you need in your own practice. These postures are just offerings. You decide what you need. Reach your arms overhead, twist to your right, left hand, right thigh, right hand, right hip. Arms reaching overhead, twist to the opposite side, right hand, left thigh, left hand to your hip. Very similar seated twist to when you were in hero's pose. This time more hip opening rather than thigh and shin stretch. Arms reach overhead, hands to heart center. Take a full breath in, release it out. Thank you for practicing today. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this channel with a friend. Thank y'all for practicing. Join ISY every Sunday for new videos.